Good to see everyone. Thanks for coming. Wayne had a issue with COVID-related issue at his at the court and has problems getting in and getting out, so he's not going to be here. And Tina is Casey's pinch hitting for Tina tonight. So here we are. We have the A team here, so we're.
I like the sports analogy.
Okay, all right. The A team. Okay. The first order of business on the agenda tonight is to approve the minutes of the June 27th meeting. I hope you've all had a chance to review, and if so, if there's a motion that we could to accept those.
I'll make
that motion.
Second, please.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Casey, do we have any bills? No bills?
No bills to
outstanding
pay.
Okay. We have the monthly financial report that's in front of you. The funding is on the facade loan program, and I know I want to on the sign program, we have a discussion today, but we have $1,710 on that. On the two main depository accounts in the sign grant program, we have $11,101.67, and at this time there are no outstanding requests. We might modify that. In the second statement that we have is the operating account for the WRA, and that currently carries a balance of $78,460.40. Karen has reconciled all three accounts, so they are in balance, and I would recommend approval of the financial report as submitted, if so.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second, Christopher, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, correspondence, Casey.
I think there's one piece of correspondence at the end of your packet. Tina wrote a memo to Representative Haggerty about the Pocket Park opening, so she just attached that. And then she also wanted me to make sure that you all got your certificate of appreciation for your work on the Pocket Park. So here it is. She suggested perhaps we hang it in our office, or one of you could take ownership of it. But here, if you want to pass that around and take a look at it.
Thank you,
My
Casey.
recommendation is we hang it in the office, okay? I know we all get accolades, but that was a team effort. Just quickly, Casey did a great job. I know Art was there, Mark was there, Jeff was there, and and Wayne was there. It was very good, first class. You know, as we commented there, DPW did an outstanding job of putting that in. And it took a little bit longer than we anticipated, but it's first class. And it looks like it's being utilized as it should, and people are congregating there. I go by quite often, they're having lunch, so it's good. It's very good. I don't know if you have any comments?
Absolutely. I make a daily trip, a couple times a day by there, and it certainly appears the citizens of Woburn are enjoying it and using it for what it was designed to have a spot to have lunch or a cup of coffee or meet and chat. So hopefully we'll continue to go that direction and get better and bigger.
Yeah, I know. But special kudos to the mayor, Tina, the mayor, and also Lenny Berman and the staff.
Absolutely.
Okay, first class. So again, thank them, and I hope they got recognition.
They did,
also.
yes.
Okay, great. Okay, update on the sign and facade program. One item on the facade program, we granted a loan back maybe 2 years ago, and it looks like they're prepaying that, which is
Yeah,
great.
I think they have one payment left,
So,
$1,710. I think
we
they have
originally
due.
granted a facade loan in the amount of $14,000. I don't have it in front of me.
$14,110. Yeah, it was actually only a year ago. It was on September 20th, 2022.
Okay, and I think there's a balance now of $1,700, so it's great. It's what we should do, and the building's down the south end. It worked out good, and it'd be great to be able to replicate that up and down the center, but I'm very impressed with the repayment schedule that they...
Is that the clothing store there?
Yeah.
Bronze.
Yeah,
They
it was
don't-
really nice.
It brightened up the whole block. I know that.
They don't own the property, but the landlord, the property owner came in and requested the funding, and it worked out very, very well. So kudos. Something that we should, I'm just thinking, if we had a portfolio, we should put that in your newsletter next month.
That's a good point.
Okay, that this is what.
The newsletter is good.
we're gonna talk about that in a minute, okay? Facade, the sign program. The sign program is not a loan, the sign program is a grant, and, which is even better. And the way we have structured that is that the business owner pays half and we pay half, is that correct?
It's a matching grant up to $2,000.
Right. So if, again, $8,000 sign, we pay 5, they pay 5, and it's forgiven. And, you know, the goal behind it, as Art knows, he's been here forever, is that to have basic uniformity in the signs up and down Main Street. And it was very successful, and it is. So I think the opportunity, if any new business comes in, we should outreach. And originally it was structured that it would be only on Main Street, but we've bent the rules, not so much, but we've approved signs, I think, outside of the Main Street area, slightly outside, but still in downtown. So any new business that we feel warrants it, I think we should approach, or again, put it in the newsletter that it is available. So, but it is not a loan, to your comment, and it's a
Okay.
grant, which is even
Okay. Yeah, there's a new barber shop that opened on Pleasant Street, on the corner of North Warren and Pleasant Street. I thought they would be a good candidate. I'd like to approach them and
Sure.
inform them about it. So I guess offline I could get some more details.
I know we have a brochure, I know we have a.
Yeah, I'm actually working on updating the flyer, or creating a new flyer, and was planning on delivering it to a lot of businesses, but I'm happy to give you a copy.
Yeah.
I did stop by that place, but I don't think they had a sign yet. I haven't-
Okay, because they
Yeah.
do have some, I don't know if it's permanent signage out there, but some, and I drive by it 2 or 3 times a
Yeah,
day, so.
a good opportunity. And Arthur, you were talking to Easy Way Cleaners at one
I
point.
was just gonna ask Casey if there was no action on that.
No, I haven't, they haven't approached me. Once I create this new flyer, though, I'm happy to maybe walk down there and hand deliver it. Maybe that'll spur some,
You know, just sometime and
yeah.
introduce you
great.
to the
Yeah,
players.
they're nice folks.
Very nice.
They are.
They've been there forever, so, I mean, that would be very appealing if they had a uniform program down the uniform side. So put that on the things to do list. But I think, you know, as you heard in the financial report, we have significant dollars available to utilize for that that's been allocated, and might as well.
In 2,000 is the cap?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that something that, because of the, you know, the world of inflation in which we live, that could be revisited, or?
Yes, it could, but when we first embarked on this, we wanted to be able to service as many people as we could.
Okay,
Hence the limitation of the dollar amount. We've had a couple requests over the years of dollar amounts that exceeded that, but we have not granted them. We've financed 50%, granted 50%, and they had to pay the rest if they want to go over.
okay.
It seemed like it was relatively in line with what people were paying. I'm trying to remember exactly what the S&Y Dental on the corner of Kilby and Main paid for their sign, but I don't think they even needed the full 2,000.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's pretty.
that's great,
And
thank you.
There is a vendor that we were using, or that
Yeah, most people tend to use one
The
or
same
two different,
vendors,
or the
yeah.
same vendors, yeah.
Okay,
so.
You know, we offered it to the Boba Tea across the street, and their sign was only, I mean, they did more lettering on an awning, but theirs was only $800, so they didn't even apply.
well, that's
But
good
we're
to
not,
know.
it's, you know, we can look at it.
Okay.
But I think we don't want exceptions. We want to stay within the policies because we've set the program up that way. If it needs to be addressed, we'll address it on the inflation side of it.
All right,
I
thank
have no
you.
idea.
I just didn't know if it was something that was, you know,
Mhm.
established many years ago.
It was probably 10 years ago, Arthur,
Yes.
and
Okay,
again, the rationale behind it was to be able to accommodate as many as possible, and that was kind of the price point that was in place at that time. Okay.
thank you.
Okay, Casey, you want to provide us with the economic development, your report?
Sure.
your report? And I think we will, Mark, you want to comment on the newsletter?
Yeah, I mean, so as a Kiwanian here in town, I appreciate the pub that got for our Flag Day celebration on Saturday, and so I like to see that in there. I think it's great. I like reading it every month.
How many did you send out?
We're up to 204 people on the list now,
All right.
so it's growing.
Good.
Yeah, every month we send it out, we get a few more people that sign on, so it's building up.
Okay.
In terms of new businesses, since we've last met, Boba Tea and Snow Ice House opened at 317 Main Street. That's a bubble tea place. And then Gongcha, another bubble tea place, opened at 486 Main Street.
Okay.
They seem
Bubble-
to be very popular, yeah.
I've never, they do, it does tend to be busy or trendy. I haven't
I'm not
partaken
trendy.
myself, but
What is it? I've seen this.
I think it's a Chinese, it comes from China, and it's essentially like tapioca balls that go in the bottom of your drink.
Something like that.
But they do a whole bunch of other drinks. They do fruity ones. The Gongcha does like waffles and ice cream. This place does mochi. There's all sorts of things if you don't want to try the traditional bubble tea. So
Great.
it's popular on TikTok, I think. The younger kids like it.
all right.
And then the other one, a little bit outside the center, but Chriswell Med Spa and Clinic Medical Aesthetics opened up
Central Square.
Central Square.
Oh,
yeah.
the K, the clinical K,
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah. And so that's doing really well. They put a lot of investment into
They
that
did.
building.
They-
It looks
they
really nice.
Yeah.
Put a lot of money into
Yeah.
that facility, and it looks first class. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a-
Great.
Yep.
It's a big upgrade from Wells Drug Store to Vacant Store to whatever. It's a
Yeah, Walgreens,
Walgreens.
yeah, it was vacant for a good year.
Big,
Yeah.
big upgrade. That's great.
Yep. And then the Winchester Savings Bank in the center has opened up, and there's the one on Kilby and Main is for sale right now.
Yeah. It's for sale.
Yeah, I don't, I might be wrong, but I don't think they own the property.
They do own the property, so I took kind of offline, I took a client to look at it, but it's for sale, but it's a bank. It's set up very specifically
Yeah.
for a bank,
Yeah,
but.
good.
And then in terms of other sales, the building that housed Bayberry Cafe sold.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
Yes.
think that new owner is excited to has a variety of ideas of things to do in that building, so I'm excited for that. And then the building that houses the restaurant also sold. So a little bit of property movement in the center. I don't think there's been any new closures since we all last met. And then outside the center, Flip the Bird opened up in North Woburn. I went up there yesterday. It's very good.
Oh, it's open, huh?
It's open. They're open soft hours right now, so I think it's 12 to 6 this week and maybe next week until they get their staffing figured out. But
Yeah, I go to Dunkin' Donuts there every morning, and I look, and each day it seems to be getting, but I didn't realize they were open.
yeah, they're
Is that
open.
what a Woolburger used to be?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have a great reputation.
Yeah, they're up on the North Shore, kind of Beverly Salem area, very popular.
Okay.
So, and then Pressed Cafe was granted a special permit from the city council to open up on Washington Street by the existing Chick-fil-A, where I think Red Robin was.
Red Robin was, correct.
So I think people are really excited about that one. Pressed Cafe has quite the following. And then under review right now by the city council is an additional Chick-fil-A where the Bertucci's is on Commerce Way, as well as a Tesla dealership on Washington Street, kind of
At the old car dealership.
399
dealership,
Washington.
that was
Car
it.
dealership.
Yeah, they've been trying to get someone in there for a long time, ground lease, yeah.
yeah. So that one's going through the process right now, but
I asked Casey earlier regarding the church, the status of the
Mhm.
CVS building, and went you informed.
yeah, nothing. There's been no movement on the CVS building. They haven't approached the building commissioner at all. They haven't approached anyone. So I think either they're getting their ducks in a row or just taking their time.
Yeah, they did apply for a permit,
Mhm.
and they were denied because they didn't have plans, ducks in a row, as Casey said. But it's quiet,
Yeah.
quiet over there.
It'd be nice if we could get something, church is great, if we get some sort of a retail component there. I know, I don't know if we can.
Well, at the end, the owner of the old Silver Q building, there's 2 retail establishments on the bottom, one of which is a chicken place. She's beginning renovations for above. She ran into a hiccup because she was encroaching on the Dollar General store, and that became a sticking point, but I think they've resolved it, and she's going to continue to renovate, put 8 apartments above there. Dollar General, they have a lease, I think, that expires in '29, And the church, I've reached out to the church to try to get, but no one's responded.
Yeah, okay. Where is it located? Does anyone know?
They were located on Washington Street in Cummings Park. Emmett Chapel is the
Oh.
name of the organization.
Yeah, I've reached out to them a few times too and haven't had any luck.
Are they still
connecting.
operating there?
I think so.
I don't know about the Washington
Oh.
Street location, but anyone that I've reached out to has not responded, so.
Okay. All right, well, that's great. This report is great. It gives us an update of where we are, what's going on, not only in the center, but
Yeah, the only other new business that I'm excited about is the Smokehouse is proposing to open up in the Applebee's up in
Yeah.
North Woburn. Really, really high quality barbecue food from Cambridge initially, I think.
so that is in process?
I don't know. I don't know if they need a special permit. I know they got their liquor license.
Yes, they got the liquor license, I think they're fine, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's some, from what I understand, they need to do quite a renovation of the building,
Yeah.
but
Good.
they're in process. So I'm really excited about that one up there.
While we're talking about restaurants, Bickford's on Montvale Ave, and they have that other location in Burlington. Did those change hands? Because I noticed both buildings, they're tying into water and sewer on Montvale Ave.
I haven't heard that. I know the Burlington one had like a car crash and had to do some renovations,
Okay.
but I think they're both, I haven't heard that.
Okay.
I'll look into it.
There was a lot of utility work gonna go on along Montville Ave.
Yeah, so I
There
thought,
anyway, so they could be maybe just new connections, but I don't know.
okay.
And then the other one too was, we haven't heard anything from the Bolodrome about reopening or what their plans are for the
I gotta
Bolodrome.
follow that up. I have not heard anything on that. That's, again, as we talked over the past year or two, that is a major project for someone if, I will follow that up. I'll
Yeah.
follow that up.
Okay. Otherwise, we touched on the Pocket Park opening. I think it was a good success and we're getting good use. Mark mentioned the firework festival. There's also Porch Fest that's coming up on October 7th, and they're actively recruiting both businesses and bands and porches to play on. We have someone that's going to play in the Pocket Park, but we wanted to reach out to you all to see if you'd be okay with having someone play at Marlowe Park in coordination with the Brick
Definitely
House.
I
Yeah.
would be fine with that.
Okay.
I don't think there'd be, I don't know about the insurance component,
Mhm.
that's something that you and Tina should talk about with the city solicitor, but as long as something's going up there, I don't think, I'm all for it.
Yeah, from my understanding, the organizers are working with one of the high school music teachers who has some students that are interested in playing, so they'd like to put them there if they can. But I'll follow up with Tina and Ellen on that one.
Could you let me know the students?
Will do, yeah. And then the other one, just citywide, is the firehouse in North Woburn is up for auctions.
Yeah.
That's another interesting site for potential redevelopment, so
Yeah.
keep an eye on that one. Sorry, I kind of have a lot. Tina, so the money that was allocated for the Pocket Park, we only used about half of it, and it expires September 30th. But Tina was going to reach out to the state to see if they would extend it a little bit so that we could implement a few more projects, related to the Pocket Park and otherwise. We've put together kind of a list of brief ideas that we can talk about in more detail at the October meeting. But as long as we can get the extension, but there's basically flashing crosswalk lights down by the Pocket Park and at Busy Bend.
Excellent.
Some more public seating. We were thinking about getting some nice quality, not very movable, like Adirondack chairs or something that we could use on the library lawn and maybe in front of City Hall or in the Common. Some tree lighting to do year round. Some different activation ideas for music and games throughout the year. Putting some money aside for murals, trash can
I wanna
updates.
talk
So
about that, too.
yeah.
Okay, we gotta.
But as
You'd
long,
be ashamed to see it go back.
yeah, so we have that additional money, and then we actually have another 100,000 from Rep Haggerty to spend on additional projects. So I think the priority,
This is great.
yeah, so the priority is getting the extension to the first half, but
One thing, the lighting you
Mhm.
mentioned, I had some discussions with someone that raves about the Common and the City Hall, about the lighting component of it. Is there something that we can put year-round lights around this?
that's what our idea was for year-round tree lighting to kind of make it nice
Yeah.
all year round, up and down the center. So I think we have a good list of ideas. I don't know if any of you, or if you want to put some more thought into potential ideas before the October meeting.
I think we should, if you do, just communicate with Casey or Tina, but I think that is a great opportunity for us for not only aesthetics, but streetscapes, stuff like that. Outstanding.
Yeah, and then we talked about putting some aside for continual website upgrades and some professional video and photography too to use
Good.
moving forward. But we'll keep you posted on that, and we can have a more robust conversation.
Yeah, make sure that goes on the agenda for October. I think that's
Yeah.
very important.
Sorry, and then the only other thing was the murals. I guess this ties into the next
This
object.
ties with the next thing.
Was I went to the planning board back in August to kind of give an initial presentation about bringing murals to the center. So this is just to give you an idea of what we're proposing. Right now, we're doing a citywide, we're proposing a citywide.
In this here, I'm handing out is what was recommended as one of our strategic initiatives when we had this study done.
Thank you.
So this is what opportunity, and I think this leads into this.
Mhm.
So I think basically it's just part of that program that we're creating and using as a roadmap for our strategic plans here. And so why don't we just go on that?
Sure, yeah, so right now, essentially, the way that the building commissioner currently interprets the sign bylaw is that all murals are signs regardless of their content. So we need to go get a zoning, a change of the zoning. So what we mentioned at the last meeting was going through the planning board. They're one of the 3 groups, I think, that can sponsor zoning changes to the city council. So we had our initial meeting with them just to give them kind of an overview of what we're thinking about, and this is what we presented. And I think they were generally receptive. There was a few concerns about content moderation, a little bit of concern about kind of over muralization of the city. But we're going back there tonight to get some more feedback and then hopefully refine this zoning change so that we can bring it to the city council. So we're asking them for a little bit more concrete feedback this time around since we heard it initially.
I get a question.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the governing body of what goes where and what colors go where, or the approval process? Council?
No, not under our proposal. So if city money is used, whoever if it's the WRA or the Arts Council, they would be kind of the approving body. But if it were a private property owner under this proposal, the city wouldn't have any control over content or design. I mean, the city really is limited with First Amendment, issues. They really can't control content.
So, and I'm referencing it, and I'm looking at it, where we tried to have some sort of continuity on the sign program.
Mhm.
There's no continuity here, basically.
Basically, I mean, you could go down kind of a design guidelines route, but they would be guidelines.
Okay, fair enough, okay. That's up to powers to be here, but
Yeah.
I see it as a very positive thing, as another step forward to ensure that we stay in walking step with what's going on in society. All these other
Mhm.
communities are doing it, and I don't know if anyone has any comments.
Yeah, I mean, I did read the article in the newspaper that talked about it over the summer, and you do get into a kind of a gray area, what's art, what's commerce, First Amendments. I know there was concern about things not being, I don't want to say untasteful, but not beautifying, so opinions, but I was unaware that if it's on a private wall, it could be, then it is a sign, it could be anything.
Well, they couldn't be commercial in nature, so it couldn't be anything relating to that business. So if it's a dog grooming station, it couldn't have dogs or hair, like it couldn't have anything of that
But
sort.
who renders that?
So I think we're still working
Yeah.
through the process. We did,
So I have a dog.
we have a request, the route we were going was not a permit route, but maybe a request for mural application where we would review an initial design and determine whether or not it was commercial in nature. But we wouldn't be able to regulate colors or size or design. It
And
would
the-
simply be, is this a sign or is it not a sign?
In the WRA would be the approving body, or
No,
who would be?
if it's a business owner, the business owner. That's my question.
Yeah, so if
There's a
you,
governing body.
'Cause, I mean, if you think about it, all of these spaces, all of these murals are all on private property. Most of them are.
so what we have thought is that, we haven't decided exactly where it would live yet, either in probably the planning office or the building department, that this request for application would go to, and then the planning staff or building staff would determine whether or not it's a sign.
Okay.
And then after that, it'd be up to the building owner.
Some of the pictures here come from like Medford, Malden. Do you, Tina, have any contacts at any of those places to see
Yeah, so I
what
reached,
they may have tripped over?
I reached out to, I sent it out to the planning list, so pretty much every community in the state,
Yeah.
and I've heard back from about 15 people.
Where-
Most have no issues at all. Lowell requires a special permit through their arts council, but otherwise, if the sign is not, if the mural is not considered a sign, the city and town has no involvement.
Do we have an
And,
art council?
we have a cultural
Cultural.
council.
Okay.
I love the intent, I hate to see it, I'll just be
No, I like-
frankly,
yeah,
I don't wanna see it get mired in bureaucracy.
No, I don't either, but,
Yeah.
you know what?
You know?
This is not up to us to decide. I think it's more the planning board and the process. I think prior to approval, I think people in the council, that we should have a public, is there gonna be a public meeting on this or no? What's the
Yeah,
next step? What's the next
so
step?
the next step, I'm going to planning board tonight
Yep.
with some more information for them to kind of hopefully get them moving forward on it. And then we would propose it to city council, and then there'd be
Okay, so it's gonna be vetted out.
yeah.
Would it be appropriate for us to take a vote tonight supporting this project?
I think so. Be helpful.
I do support this. I think this is the next step, and as I said.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay, so, before we go any further, I'd like to take a motion that we are in support of this process in the way it's moving down the road, or the approval process for the city. Is that okay with you, Jeff?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I've informally spoken to a couple of the council members, and, they're very supportive of it. I think their concern is content, to make sure it's tasteful, but what's tasteful for one may not be for another. So that's the only, concern I'm hearing.
We're gonna have that, no
Yeah.
matter what. And you know what? If a sign is up here that I think is beautiful, you're not gonna think it's beautiful. So you're gonna have that
Correct.
diversity in opinion, which is okay.
That's what makes the world go round.
Given the cost of a professional mural, the cheapest one I could find was around $10,000, and they go all the way up into the hundreds of thousands depending on the size. You're gonna get professional quality,
Sure.
nice design murals.
Are
And I
there
don't
any-
think you're gonna see these popping up on every single blank wall, these are gonna be.
Are there grants available for us, can the WRA apply for a grant of some sort that could provide 3 murals up and down Main Street?
Yeah, I think there's certainly,
That'd be nice.
And
Grants
could
for
this be
public
part
art.
of the funding as the pocket park?
we do have in our, in our money that we're proposing, or how we're proposing to spend the additional money, we're putting some money aside for murals for the pocket park.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just throwing an idea out there, that the property owners that flank either side, it could be little or no cost to them, or 50/50.
Right.
I mean, it's hard for them to say no.
Right, so I think right now, it would be appropriate for us to put a stamp of approval on your,
That would be helpful, yeah.
okay?
Okay.
I'm looking for a motion to support the, quote, Bringing Murals to Woburn program.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I second that
All in favor?
motion.
Great. Okay, so we are for it. We
Great.
are. But, as Jeff said, content, we can, let's make sure, everything we do down here, we try to do it first class.
Mhm.
The park, both parks. Let's just make sure that the commons first class.
Mhm.
And I'm sure we will. Okay, great. Any more on that?
I think that's it.
Okay.
And then the business
I
directory.
have that right here too.
Yes, so we're chugging along on that. I think I have just a few more stores to stop into in the center. We have contact for probably 60% of the center businesses right now.
That's a mural.
And so I think we're in good shape on that one. All of them have been added to the newsletter list.
Thanks.
And that's the list I plan on using to send out the information about the
Thank you, sir.
sign program. So I would consider that one pretty much.
So you would classify your newsletter in this window?
No, my database is separate, but they have been added to my newsletter list.
Okay, good.
But yeah, the center is getting pretty much there with everyone. So that one should be done soon.
Great. Any other questions on that?
I mean, what would you estimate, Casey, downtown vacancy is?
I wouldn't say it's shockingly high.
As a percentage, if you had to throw a round number on it?
I don't want to throw a round number on it. I'll get
Okay.
you a real number.
Okay.
There you go.
Just that you hear about, office vacancy all the time. I'm curious to see what,
Yeah, I'll get you a good number on that.
Thank you.
hmm
Okay. Anything else? Good meeting, great meeting.
Yeah, the one other comment was I'm attending the licensing committee meeting on October 19th. They have a once-a-year mandatory meeting that all license holders have to attend.
They do.
So I plan on attending that, kind of just as an introduction, hand out any literature about the, sign program we have, and then just to get up and kind of just give an overview
When
of
is
my
that?
position. October 19th.
It's an afternoon, right?
It's a Thursday, yep.
It's Thursday evening,
Yes.
Yes.
Evening, the meeting?
yes.
So I'm attending that.
Right
Jeff-
over here in Chambers, I
It
believe.
is. It's in the chamber this year, and I think it's 5:30.
Yes, that sounds.
Jeff, do you want anything to add from your
Yeah,
perspective
just
on the council?
the interesting thing that Casey spoke about, the money that was in surplus at the Pocket Park. She mentioned the flash and beacon crosswalks. Being the chair of the Traffic Commission, that is one of the most common requests that we have. That seems funding isn't always available. And I think that would be a great thing if the Woburn Redevelopment Authority could get a couple in some key spots downtown. What's most important in the safety of residents and making sure they feel safe and welcome downtown at certain spots that we know are a problem.
Yeah?
Great,
So
Okay.
that's my sales pitch for that.
good.
Thank you.
Well taken, okay. A new and other business, nothing, I assume, and our next meeting is the 24th, is that okay with everyone, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
And if there's no other information, no other business, I'd like a motion to adjourn. And Casey, your maiden voyage, you did a great job.
Thank you.
On roll, Mr. Duffy, shall you make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I was doing something.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, good. Great to see everyone, good meeting, Casey, great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.